Hi everyone, welcome back to the Spirit Lounge. I hope you guys had a great start to 2020 and made some resolutions that you'll stick to this year. I know I've made one or two. So, it's the first video of the year. I was going to think about doing a couple of subjects, but I decided to do it on, make a video describing my perception on how psychic readings and mediumship actually works. It's appropriate because often at this time of year or beginning of the year or just before Christmas, those who are spiritually inclined will sometimes reach out to practitioners within that area, psychic and medium practitioners, and often get readings, or people who have had people pass on sometimes reach out to mediums to reconnect and speak to those who have left this lifetime. And so, and also at the end of the video, I'm taking artistic liberty, and because I can, and I'm going to showcase a couple of people that I know personally, who are genuine, that contributed articles to my book as well. And so I just want to take the time to give them a little bit of a plug at the end. So if you want to see those guys are with a bit of their bio and some of the write-up as to how they perceive what they do, you'll see that at the end of the video. So let's split these two things up. Let's talk about the what is a psychic reading. So we all have discussed that we are spiritual beings. I think on this channel, if you're listening to it, you're open to the idea or on that journey yourself. And within us, we have a fractal of our spiritual core. The core of ourselves never leaves the divine space. It's always there. Just a fractal of it exists and animates the body. The fractal of the whole is the whole, just a copy of it. It's internally linked to its core, and that what exists within us. Each and every single one of us have our spirit within us. It illuminates, animates our body, and works in conjunction with the heart and the mind as a trinity of its own. That is how we're supposed to shift into. Now, as we've discussed before with regards to timelines and karma in my previous videos, from the moment of inception of our internal core, the moment it was brought into being by thought, intention, which transforms those energies into form, or in our case, a spiritual consciousness, which is ever present, of eternal light. Light is knowledge, it's information, it's knowing of all that is, and that's what we are. So within that knowing of all that we are and the light which is our spirit, we live multiple incarnative lives. We come in and out of this universe. This universe is a playground for experience, and we've discussed that in other videos, and maybe we'll discuss it again in future ones. We won't touch on it too much right now. It'll digress too much from this subject. And let's just accept the fact that we live many lives. And our lives that we live, in this one particularly, we have many options, many pathways we could follow. Everything that is eternally possible in our lives, everything we give any energy to, every action, every word, every thought, every intention, has a causal effect, creates an energetic pathway, a stream or a river of possibility. Like branches and twigs on a tree, numerous pathways can be formed, and they are all stored eternally and infinitely connected to us forever within the quantum and akashic field. They are the same things, just called different names. And that's where our infinite possibility resides. So myself, for example, I'll be traversing life and having different thoughts and different energy patterns as to things I think are going to happen in life, where I'd like to take my life, and they will shift and turn depending on where I focus most of my energy. But those pathways of wherever, even if it's just a thought and I've focused on enough sufficient energy on it, even fleetingly, it will create a stream of energetic possibility within the Akashic field in my eternal spiritual footprint. And the one that we give most of our energy to, our most strongest energy to, our most thought, our most intention, our most words and actions, are the ones that we generally will transpire and become reality and physical reality in our lives. And that is the timeline that we will experience. But we'll have created many other possible timelines in the past that we project forward. Remember, everything we perceive now, everything I think today will create future possibility for me. It's projected forward as infinite possibility within the Akasha and quantum field. So we are effectively drawing maps of possibility for ourselves in the quantum field, and they exist eternally, whether they become manifestly physical realities or not. Permanently imprinted. Everything we think, everything we say, everything we do, every action, every word, every thought, intent is there. It's inescapable. And it's closely attached to karma as a result. But these pathways exist within the quantum field. And as I mentioned before, the one that you will experience is the one that you put the most energy into with regards to actions, words, thoughts, and intents. So you think about something enough, put enough action into something enough thought, intention, and words into something enough. It's the experience that you'll have. It's like positive thinking, very similar to that. It's the same thing, effectively, just described differently. If you think positive thoughts enough about something and put a little bit of action towards its fulfillment and persistence, which is effectively faith, it'll become real. And it's the same thing for energetic pathways in the quantum and Akashic field. They're in the frequency, the quantum Akashic frequency field, is in a frequency, an elevated frequency of perception. We all, you all, I, anyone, can open up our infinite Akashic records once we elevate our frequency and attune our vibration to the frequency of the Akashic and quantum field. And that's what a psychic does. So when you go into a psychic reading, for example, you will be sitting in front of someone who's able to raise their frequency and their vibration beyond the standard, the normal perceptive frequency that we go through our daily lives, elevate it beyond their physical space, move and shift their frequency into an elevated pattern into which they're able to connect with the frequency or the vibration of the quantum Akashic field. In other words, the universal possibility itself. And by doing so, they're able to tap into your own energy, and through your energy, they're able to tap into the quantum Akashic footprint of your eternal self, your higher self, your infinite self, the fractal of your core that resides within your core, effectively. It's one and the same. Remember, everything is one, it's not connected. Everything is energetically one single thing. There is no separation, it's only separation. We talk about separation in these videos because it's how the mind needs to perceive things. It needs to perceive things as separate because we can't logically think about them in any other way. It's how our mind works. We have to compartmentalize things and put things into boxes. This is that, and this is this. But it's actually all one. Energetically, it's one. And so when a reader, a practitioner within the spiritual realm, they're moving energetically. They're moving their frequency, which is all energy, into the vibration where those infinite possibility reside in the quantum Akashic field. And what they do that through yourself by connecting to your vibration also with some assistance of your own spiritual guides that you have. We'll have another video on those. We all have an invisible partner, if you like, from spirit, which help us if we ask. And they're always there, and they can also connected to. And they open up the pathway of possibility that you've given the most energy to. So what's actually read and received from the quantum akashic field of the infinite possibility that you've created, all these timelines, branches and twigs on that tree of pathways and timelines that you could follow, the ones that are connecting and being received by a reader are the ones that you've given the most energy to. So it's almost, when you do go to have a reading, if you're open enough with yourself, you will kind of already know what you're going to receive. If you're truly open with where you've put your energy, where you put your anxieties, your stresses, your worries, your thoughts, actions, deeds, and intentions, and words. So that's what's picked up. So that it's the psychic connects through your energy, through their elevated frequency, to your infinite and eternal timelines within the quantum akashic field, through the use of tools like tarot cards or runes or whatever it is that person would use, to help complement what is received from the energetic space, to create a picture and translate that to you in words. So that is effectively what happens. So it's actually not mysterious at all what happens. They're merely picking up through their enhanced capabilities, which we can all train to if we wish to read the quantum akashic field of timelines and pathways which have been given the most energetic force through actions, words and thoughts that we have individually given them. And they could be one or more than one, or more than two, few possibilities we may be thinking about or pursuing in life, and they will appear. And they will come up as possibilities. They will be interpreted by the reader in very, very different ways. Each person, each reader is uniquely different in what they receive, and how it's interpreted by them, and how it's communicated to you through either just direct words, through the feelings and emotions, imagery, clairaudience, clairsentience, and any other way that they receive information, they translate it to you. So maybe not every reader will actually interpret what is received it's exactly the same way. But the core message, if it's strong enough, will be exactly the same. And that's what's received when you go to a psychic. It's not magic woo-woo. It's not some witchcraft. It's how the universe works. It's universal law and frequency. It's eternal presence. Timelines and possibilities are there forever within this universe. We come into this universe many, many times. And everything we do and everything we've ever done, every action, every word, every thought, every intent, no matter how fleeting, in every one of the incarnational lives, are held within the Akashic field and can be tapped into. They're hosted there forever. Our eternal core of our spirit, which is always with the divine, is eternally connected, infinitely connected to them, but not of them. They're just experiences and pathways the spirit has traversed within this universal playground and all of its billions of life that we could be within it, that serve our purpose of returning ourselves back to what I call divine grace, or the frequency of grace, when in the duality of the universe. That's the challenge, is to effectively, we're here because we continually come here because we come here without any footprint, without any karma, without any duality. But when we come, we immerse ourselves into the universe. And as a result, through free will and the universal forces of karma, of creation, transformation, and destruction, we're able to be anything because it's universal possibilities. We're able to express anything. We're able to create anything. And that also means duality. It also means ego. It also means narcissism. It also means vacuous lives. It also means detachment and forgetting and total ignorance of our total infinite selves. And as a result, over the dawn of the inception of the universe itself, duality gets created. Brutal duality is manifest. The world that we live in, the detachment that we have of ourselves and each other, the experience we see around the world, eternal warring. This is all a manifestation from the very beginning of life itself in every form, not just human, creates imbalance. And the reason we keep coming back and forth is our challenge is to return it back to grace, where the duality wasn't present at its inception. And to do that, we all must keep returning into lifetimes to remove what we've created as for ourselves in each of those lifetimes. It's a vicious circle. That's the reason and purpose for life. It absolutely, which is wrapped around total free will to also experience the infinite possibility of what you can within this beautiful universe we have, and within humans, our human form, this wonderful world that we live in. Experience it and be everything you can be. But remember, the core journey is actually to return yourselves to the frequency of your origin, and then return this whole to that state. And those are the timelines. And we do that through many lifetimes and many timelines. And those are the things, those timelines are what are read by those whose frequencies and their enhanced inner capability, sometimes from birth, many a time from birth, are able to do. Now, of course, I will caveat that there are absolutely an enormous amount, almost fundamentally the majority, who just can't do these things, and they are charlatans. And if you are going to proceed down these paths, or even for a curious inquiry, is to word of mouth is really where you should go, because people will take your money, take advantage of the vulnerable and the weak. But there are those who truly have enhanced capabilities to do this. Discover it later in life. Some know it from birth. Others develop it. We all can, because we're all infinite beings connected to the same thing. If we wish to, we all can. But the ones I will present to you, for me, are good friends, and that's not why I'm presenting them, but they're also genuine. So that's what a psychic reading is. Now, it's a good segue into what a mediumship reading is. A mediumship reading is really trying to prove life after death for the most part. And the reason people have mediumship readings is they want to connect to a life, a person that, or any life form, an animal, even anything that was lived before, where they had an emotional, heartfelt connection to, and who they miss. They've passed on recently, and they're so heartbroken they just want to say some final words, or just to hear their voice, or to hear a message from those people, from those beings, those avatars that they interacted with here. That's what a mediumship reading is. It's usually from those who want to connect to someone they maybe didn't say what they wanted to say to them. Maybe want to hear a final word and say goodbye, where they're going to be able to. It's closure for many. It's healing for those who do it, and some people for curiosity and inquiry. But that's what a mediumship reading is. It's kind of proving life after death, or rather that we exist beyond this. It doesn't actually prove multi-incarnations, or it can do, but it's really proving, it goes on the way to proving that the consciousness, or as we like to say, the spirit exists beyond the exit from the physical body when the life is over. Now, again, the same principle applies. Our core has many lifetimes, as I've mentioned, and every single avatar, and if you watch my previous videos on reincarnation and karma and tendency, those three kind of explain this in a little bit more detail, but split into 3 videos. Everything, our avatars, every avatar we have ever had, ever entered into, in any form throughout this universal possibility of life, the billions of life that must exist here, in this universal program in which we enter, exist within the quantum akashic field. Everything exists in that space. It's if you like, within the universe, but also within the divine as well, because everything is in the divine, and we're eternally connected to it. Those things exist eternally, infinitely. Our core and our spirit is eternally connected to them, but again, it's not of them. They're just expressions that we've had. The infinite core of ourselves, our spirit, is source itself, is a fractal of source itself, of possibility, of knowing, of being everywhere in everything. It is this universe, it's everything. It's not connected and not formed by any avatar that we've ever had. It's just experiences we have. And they exist within the quantum akashic field. Now, when somebody wants a mediumship reading, it's not just a fanciful thing. They often are thinking about that person. They're often speaking out loud or privately in their minds to the darkness and the quiet of the empty space around them. They walk into the rooms, hold things that they have, every emotion, and they miss that person in their lives, and they often want and send the intention out that I need to speak to you again. Will you come and talk to me? Will you give me an indication you're around, or you're around me? We hold on to these avatars because they mean so much to us in our hearts. And so by doing so, and putting the intention out that you seek to speak to them, and way before anybody will ever go to a medium to try to reconnect with the consciousness or the avatar, the energetic avatar of someone who's passed on. They've usually sent this energy out, quite immense, powerful energy out to the universe, trying to connect through their hearts and their souls, and asking for a message, a connection. And that is energy. That intention goes out. It's powerful energy. It goes out into the universe, connects to everything, connects to the core of the spirit that was in that avatar, connects to the energetic frequency of it in the Akashic field. So when you go to a medium, the same thing. They elevate their frequency again to reach out to what's in the universe. And they're conduits, they're vessels to what they receive, just like in a psychic reading. They receive imagery, clairaudience, clairsentience, sometimes physical imagery, sometimes 3D imagery that they will see in their frequencies raised to be able to connect with what's coming into their space, and also using your own vibrational energy, which creates a vibrational link to what it is that you're seeking to connect to. That can appear to them, speak to them, give them words through energy, thoughts and emotions, smells and tastes of that person. Remember, everything's in the Akashic field. That avatar never ever goes away. It's always persistent. So when they say we never die, we don't. The avatar that we've been never goes away. It's eternal, forever.
The spirit within it is its core, always returns to core, but it's connected to our spiritual divine infinite selves all the time. So what we're connecting to is always there. The avatar's always there. The persona, the personality always exists. And I will be making a video on personality and how it transcends. It's not destroyed upon every lifetime. We connect to the personality of that avatar as it was. We connect to everything it's been, its smells, they're all passed on through energetic information to the medium. The medium is a conduit, again, often through birth, often through development or discovered, or are allowed to expand and express later in life. They're not accidents, these people, the genuine ones, that is. So that what they're doing, they're becoming conduits, so that the avatar that you've cascaded such immense heartfelt energy to become present and connect to you again, will do so, because the infinite spirit that was within it, which is in our core with the divine always, is always connected to it. And it will represent itself in energetic form, and sometimes within the vibration of the person reading it, and maybe even your own, if you're elevated enough to see, open enough to see. You see flashes of imagery, or hear the voice, or the smell, or the taste of someone. If they smoked a lot, you might even smell smoke. It's or a whisper in your ear. It's the energetic footprint of the avatar which is connecting, and that's what the medium does. It's a similar process to what a psychic reading is with regards to your timelines. You're connecting to the avatar, which always exists as well. So these things, this is fundamental universal law. These are not mysterious things. It is mysterious because we disbelieve that they can be possible. We disbelieve that things can exist outside this crude matter of this body. We think that all we are here for is to eat, consume, fornicate, collect material possessions, be successful, do this, that and the other, and we drop dead. Well, then there would be no purpose. What would be the purpose for life? Is that if that's all it was? If that's all it was, then we may all as well just do whatever we want, and have no purpose for conscience, have no purpose for an innate knowing of right and wrong, have no innate need to love each other and be kind. What would be the purpose of any of that? There's no purpose. If there's no purpose to life, there's no purpose to any of that either, because you can do whatever you like, and most people do, and that's just not true. There is purpose to life, like there's purpose to everything. There's intention to everything. There's niche for everything. There's no accidents to anything in this universe and anything that you experience in life, and that we are. I am this body, this person, for a reason, because I intended it. And just like you guys intended your lives, they all will hold. Your timelines will always be present. They can be read. They can be resonantly, energetically connected to through the conduit and vessel of a psychic or a medium, a mystic practitioner or a reader, a genuine one. And your avatar is always present, can always be animated, can always energetically connect and become and connect to you with your sufficient energy and vibration given to it. And also, if it's for your highest and greatest good. And these things can be experienced for real through genuine practitioners. And there aren't many of them. And that's the truth. That's the sad truth. There are many more false practitioners out there than you could throw a stick at, unfortunately. But that's the nature of the world. It's the nature of the human experience. And go to word of mouth, and if you wish to, and try it for size. But remember, these things are only possible if you keep an open mind. You have to be energetically open yourself to receive what it is you seek. If you're going there just through mental dismissal, immediate dismissal, and then you won't open up yourself to even receive anything, and you block the energy connection
of the person you're using or you're going to have that experience. So, I mean, that's your own choice. If you want to waste your money, then go ahead. But you have to be open-minded. You have to be willing to accept that you don't know everything out there. You don't know what you don't know, and we will never know everything out there. It's not possible while in form. Only in your spirit, infinite divine self, are you everything and everywhere and all-knowing, because you are light. A light energy of consciousness, of all possibility. Light is energy. Energy is information. Information is knowing. And we all have it within us all to do all of these things I've described. And the infinite book on which all of these videos are channeled from reside within each and every single one of you. I'm not special. I'm no more special than you guys who are watching and listening to this. The infinite book is energy. It resides within your spirit. It's opened by your spirit because it is within it. It's connected to with your heart and processed by the mind. It's a trinity. Now, do you know the divine trinity, if you like? The spirit, the heart, and the mind. And through that, and the openness of mind, the openness of self, all these things come into your knowing, become into understanding. And you understand what life starts, what you understand, we start to understand what life truly is. What your purpose is. You all have a purpose. We're not here to struggle. We only struggle when we detach from purpose. We only struggle when we detach from, we just give too much of ourselves and our power away to something, without understanding that actually we have free will and the divine is there to help us if we help ourselves. And we believe that we're worthy of more, which we all are. We're worthy of everything and anything that this universe can provide us. So those timelines that we create as many as possible, the ones that you want. Put energy in the one that you want to experience. And have faith and persistence. Persistence is faith. Remember, there are many lifetimes to live, all for different purpose and intention that you design all by yourself. There's no forced entry into any life at all. But the universe is open, an infinite possibility, and everything exists forever. Nobody goes anywhere. No one truly dies. No loved one truly goes away. They're just not here in their bodies anymore because the purpose of their lives came to an end for whatever reason, or served their purpose for those who pass on more naturally, if you like. You're connected to everyone here in the present, in the past, and will in the future. And every timeline there that you wish for possibility is there for you to create. The universe's infinite possibility of free will and karmic forces. So use your free will to develop in the direction that you wish. But remember to own those choices that you make. Okay, so thanks very much for listening. I hope that was useful. And please like and subscribe. Happy New Year again to everyone. And if you want, there's a short little video at the end of this, which I usually make, and I like making those, where I'm just going to showcase some people I know. You don't have to connect to any of them at all. They're just, I'm doing it for my personal decision to do that because they're friends of mine and I know they're genuine. And by the way, the opinions and perceptions I've given you in this video are not theirs, they're mine. They may have completely different, divergent, or slightly different perspectives on what I've said. So I will pull up some of the things that they've quoted and that are in my book. A lot of them gave me descriptions of these things themselves. They're also their own words. And I'm eternally grateful for that. And yeah, thanks very much. And I'll definitely talk to you again and love to you all. Thank you.